I'd like to encourage and inspire you today with the surprising nature of God. I think sometimes we think of God just reacting, but sometimes God is proactive in preparing us for purposes of kingdom nature. I remember coming to know the Lord in 1976. It was the year of the Olympic Games in Montreal. I was studying sport at that moment at the university in Pretoria, and sport was my life. I thought I was born to play rugby and born to participate in sport. Came to know the Lord, and a week later traveled to the Olympic Games. My life changed irreversibly. I remember sitting within a group of believers at the Olympic Games, and someone asked the question, who would be willing to deliver some Russian Bibles to the Olympic Village? And I immediately raised my hand. I was always fascinated by the way that the sportsmen trained and prepared themselves, and I saw an opportunity of going into the Olympic Village and meeting some of the athletes. But it was the Olympic Games after the Munich Olympic Games where some Israeli athletes were killed, so the security was skyrocket high. I took the Bibles, I tried the first entrance and couldn't enter. I tried the second entrance and I was refused entry, and the third entrance. And eventually sat outside the Olympic Village and just asked the question, Lord, what now? I'm a week old in the Lord. I've got this expectation that the God that I serve is mighty to do more and abundant than what I can even imagine. And as I sat there and just wondering what's happening, an athlete came out, an American athlete, Mary Decker, and she looked at me and we started a conversation. And eventually she asked me, so what are you doing here? And I said, I've got some Russian Bibles that I'd like to deliver. And she looked at me and she said, do you know any Russian athletes? And I said, no, but I was hoping to meet some. And she said, well, I do. Give the Bibles to me and I will make sure they end up in the hands of the Russians inside the village. And I was ecstatic. God has opened a door. But then something happened that I did not expect. She looked at me and she said, Mike, have you seen any of the Olympic events? And I said, very spiritual at that moment, that's not really why I'm here. And she said, well, I'd like to give you a complimentary ticket to the 100-meter final on the last day of the Olympics in the grandstand. Friends, you can just imagine my heart. I thought to myself, Lord, if this is the God that I'm going to serve for the rest of my life, count me in. And not every story in my life ended in the same way that sitting in the grandstand of the 100-meter final. But every story of my life included a surprising God. And I want to encourage you, follow this God, and your life will be full of surprises. Surprises that will always bring you closer to Him, whether it's good or bad, but inspired by the Holy Spirit and a God that loves so much that He knows your intimate desires.